Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream today. We have a stream for you. We are going to be doing Streamers Unmasked podcast episode 3 with none other than the wonderful, the glorious, the bearded CapnJesse. So, I guess I'm going to be putting this on YouTube. So, wait one second. If you are liking this video or whatever, yeah, you should subscribe. You should like the video on YouTube. I need to remember to say that, so I'll just say it here. But going into this, get serious, get the beard off, all right? Streamers Unmasked. Why Streamers Unmasked? What is Streamers Unmasked? Streamers Unmasked is a podcast where I try to interview fellow streamers because I think streaming's hard. I know a lot of people who think streaming's hard. It's very difficult, no matter what your motivations going into stream are, whether you are in it just for fun, whether you expect to be the biggest thing, no matter what, you go live and you're just hoping for the best. There's definitely days where you will go in and you'll have just an awesome, amazing time, and there's other days where it's slower and it can be a little bit harder. There's people who stream to 20 people, 20,000. There's people who stream to zero point 0.2 people, okay? So, everybody who streams, no matter how big, small, or large they are, though, they have lives. They are everyday people. They have feelings, and I just kind of, want to tap into the whole real people aspect. So the name of the Streamers Unmasked is inspired by a poem called Wear the Mask by Paul Laurence Dunbar. And the poem reads, "We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile, with torn and bleeding hearts we smile. And mouthed with myriad subtleties, why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but oh great Christ, our cries to thee free from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh the clay is vile beneath our feet and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise, we wear the mask." So, the way I interpreted the poem so many years ago when I first heard it is that every day in our everyday lives, and also while streaming now, we wear the mask out. We wear the mask, we show... we just try to get through the day a lot of the time. And when the streamer comes on, no matter how their day is going, 9 out of 10 chances they're going to try to put their mask on. They're going to try to make the stream entertaining for you because you guys are coming here, you're trying to enjoy your time with us. But without further ado, the streamer we have today, I met him about 6 months ago. Lovely streamer. He has a lovely, silky, smooth voice. He has an awesome beard. I'm sure everybody here knows him by now. He hangs out here and absolutely everywhere because he's a super stand-up guy. Welcome to the stream, CapnJesse.
How's it going?
How are you today, Jesse?
I'm good. How are you?
I am okay. I am doing all right. I have homework and stuff to do, but this is the highlight of my homework, of my work. There we go. If you want to consider this work, this is the highlight of the work portion of my day.
Fair enough.
So, are you excited to be here, kind sir?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I got beard in my mouth.
Excited to be here.
Oh, all righty. My brain ain't working right now. That's okay. Are you excited to be? I'm excited to be here too. So did you bring your notes with me? Because you're supposed to be asking me questions, right, sir?
I mean, we can ask questions. I got questions. I don't need notes.
Oh, you got
for
questions? You got questions for me? Okay,
Yeah.
So I don't know if you knew this, but the God showed you exactly how a couple weeks ago to interview me. So clearly that's what we're doing, right? You are interviewing me, right?
Sure, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. Oh my goodness. So, what's your favorite icebreaker pickup line?
Icebreaker pickup line. I usually just say hi.
What? That is insane. I gotta write this down. Let me just get my...
I mean, you're married. You don't need the icebreaker pickup lines, right?
Oh, I don't need a pickup line, but I do need some good icebreakers every once in a while. Works confirmed. Oh my goodness. So the way we're going to do the show today is we are going to work through the real life questions. Then we're going to move into the gaming questions. And then the streaming questions. Towards the end, we will do all of the audience questions in one big go. And hopefully attack those in a semi-logical, maybe hilarious way, depending on what the questions are. I know some people like to ask about babies. Other people like to ask, what made you grow a beard, etc. Things like this. So what made you
Sounds
grow a
good.
beard, CapnJesse?
I was in the military for about 9 years, and I wasn't allowed to grow a beard. And once I got out, I grew a beard. It's pretty
Wow.
simple.
Pretty simple. I was all like, listen, I need a beard in my life. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
god.
mean, I I started growing it, and I cut it down really short after a while, and then I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna grow it out again. So right around when COVID started, I started growing my beard back out,
That's all just from COVID?
pretty much.
That's like I think my beard grows in like nice and full. But listen, like I wouldn't be half that with
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I mean, if you look at my streams from November to now, it's a big change.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna find him. I will find that clip that has CapnJesse without his majestic beard. And
Yeah.
the one chip one. You still got that clip on there, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, that was December. Beard definitely wasn't as long as it is now.
So how's your family doing?
Good. Daughter went to bed about half an hour, 45 minutes ago, so
I
pretty
wish
good.
my kids would do that every night. Can she talk to my kids about like this whole like standardized bedtime thing?
I mean, she gets tired really easily. Tonight she wasn't tired, but she usually watches about an hour or so of Netflix before bed,
Ah,
and I just put the sleep timer on, and she just falls asleep before it goes off.
sounds like you got a. Sounds like Violet is really good. I've never
Oh
heard
yeah.
any complaints.
Oh yeah, she'll sleep like 12, 13 hours straight, no issue.
Amazing. What is going on? Listen, like if you got any tricks, after the stream, I'm gonna be DMing you about this because I need to know all of your secrets. Okay.
No, all right.
So you were in the military. Did you get any education before or after that?
Um, so once I got out of the military, within a couple months, I started college. Um, and I was going for the healthcare profession and working on the management and administration side. And I actually just finished up my degree about a month ago, actually, a month ago yesterday.
Oh, congratulations. Hopefully that went well. How long did that take you?
About 3 years.
Yeah,
So not too bad.
I'm working towards the end of mine. I'm on my very last week. I can't wait for it to be done. Was it a relief when you were done? Were you happy? Were you sad? Was there anything you're missing from school?
Um, I was happy that it was done. I was already considering going back and doing another program later, and now I'm just sort of on the fence with it because I know with how much work that is, and I'm just like, we'll see.
That was when I got into my accounting degree because it's kind of like, okay, well, the master's obviously makes sense for that. I was all about getting my master's. And right now, I cannot fucking wait to take the longest break from school I have ever taken.
Yeah.
Um, Hopefully it wasn't a struggle for you to get to the end like it has been for me. Like literally, like last week I did a 20-page paper and I was literally just here like, oh my god, please stop it, please stop.
My final class, I had a lot of papers, a couple PowerPoints, a couple presentations. I had to do a talk, and I got 100% of my last class, so I was definitely happy with that.
Shit, did you graduate with honors?
Yeah.
Nice. I hope that I do too. I don't. I still have to wait for all the grades to come in to find out whether or not.
Yeah, I finished with a 3.9, and my lowest grade was a B plus throughout my whole college, so I'll take it.
So, as a fellow father, I'd be remiss if I don't ask you how COVID has affected your life, especially specifically towards your children, but just in general. So, how has the pandemic been for you? Any news?
Um, I mean, it hasn't been too bad. We've done school from home all year. We've had the choice the whole year if she wanted to go or stay home. So she stayed home. And I was working from home at the time. So it just worked out perfect. Um, I don't mind being part-time teacher. I think it actually has helped her out a lot too. And I mean, we still get out, we still do things, but we just don't go out in public. We're lucky to live where we are. We've got the mountains around us. We go hiking, stuff like that.
So it's been successful to have her home for school because I feel like I mean, I don't know how your schools. Did you think your schools handled it well then, as far as what they were sending home for her to do, or no? Because I feel like as far as my kids go, they just stopped. They just stopped
Yeah,
learning in general. Like my daughter's doing workbook pages basically when she's home.
yeah. I mean, it was pretty. At first, it was pretty disorganized because it just happened so suddenly. Nobody prepared for it.
Yeah.
But starting off the school year, they were sending home stuff, but the way they taught it online, it was hard for the kids to ask questions. So with me being here with her, um, it was easy for me to be like, all right, well, this is how I do it. This is how I see it done. So let's figure it out ourselves. And she's done really good. I know a lot of kids have struggled from home, but she's gotten almost perfect grades the whole year.
Awesome. It's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations to Violet then.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is
She's been
that
doing
is
good.
really rough in the current situation to be doing so well, and definitely.
Yeah.
Um, what are your music interests, Mr. Jesse man?
It's going to sound pretty generic, but I listen to a little bit of everything. But I mainly listen to a lot of like 90s, 2000s rock music. I really like EDM music, um, some metal music, uh, classic rock,
What
like
are your thoughts on country
60s.
music?
Not a huge fan. I mean, I'll listen to it if somebody else is listening
Oh,
to it, but I'm not going to sit there and enjoy it.
you, I'm not gonna sit there. You will not force me to enjoy this Garth Brooks, man.
Exactly.
What's your favorite band if you haven't one?
Ooh. Um, I'm really big on typo negative.
And what genre would they be?
Hard rock, metal genre.
Nice. Um, are you a reader? Do you like to read in your free time or not so much?
Uh, when I started school up, my reading really slowed down. I haven't gotten back into it yet, but I don't mind like audiobooks and stuff like that. It's just recently, it's been a lot of just trying to relax and recuperate from finishing school. So I haven't done anything.
I'm a huge fan of the audiobook genre myself. I feel like so I used to drive a truck. And
Okay.
I definitely suggest anybody who hasn't checked out audiobooks, even if they don't like reading, to give it a look into because they're just so much fun. Well, in my opinion, I think they're fun, so I'm going to push that on other people. Audiobooks, everybody. Audiobooks.
Yeah, we're planning on doing audiobooks because Serena and I are taking a road trip this summer, and we got to pick out some audiobooks to listen to on the way.
For sure. Listen, if you guys want any suggestions, I got many suggestions in many categories. You hit me up. You're probably not going to like any of them. That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to like them. So school kind of wore you out as far as the reading goes. That's understandable. I don't know how health works as far as reading goes. Did you have a bunch of like anatomy books and stuff like that, or were your classes for that?
Um, it was some. It was a lot of. It was supposed to be a lot of hands-on learning that we weren't able to do. Uh, there was supposed to be a lot of lab work we did, so it was a lot of just finding stuff online. Essentially, not as much in the books. My last year and a half, I never opened a textbook. I just used the internet.
Works. I'm gonna pretend like I haven't done the same thing. I'm gonna pretend like I don't know what Chegg is, and you can't just type in, "Hey, what's the answer to this question on this final?" and find out what it is. I've never done this before.
Well, see, I thought about doing that because my family member uses that, but none of our tests were ever on Chegg. A lot of them were created on the spot, or our finals were papers and presentations mixed together.
I think
so
for
it
the
wasn't like we could cheat on them.
I think for the papers and presentations, as far as my experience goes, especially with online school, those work really well as far as finding out what you learned and like how you put the information.
Oh,
My
yeah.
experience with the written test forms was that they were just hot trash and they wanted to throw the textbook right back at your face and just be like, "Did you eat the textbook?"
Right.
Are you a Netflix or a cable guy, Mr. Jesse?
Netflix. I have not had cable in many, many, many years. I'm Netflix and internet browser guy.
I don't think I've had cable myself. Well, my mom always had cable. I don't know how your family handled this when you were younger. My mom literally always had cable. Um, the whole time I was growing up, like $100 or something crazy like that. Like I got my internet, got my Netflix, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I mean, we lived in an area where for a long time we could not get cable or internet to our house growing up, so we had VCR.
Just rocks and books.
Yeah,
VCR rocks and
essentially.
books. So
Yep.
speaking of mothers and stuff, how old are you?
I am 31.
Shit. You you know, I feel like I never asked you that before, and you were a lot closer to my age than I thought. You're making me feel real old, Jesse. You're making me feel. I need to get this beard going. Do you think by the time I'm 31, I can have my beard almost like yours, or no?
I mean, it's worth a shot, but you can't like shave it.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. If you were on a desert island and you could only bring one thing to eat, you're forced to bring only one thing, and you had to eat that every single day. What would it be?
Potatoes.
Potatoes. And
I
you
mean,
would make
you
them in
can
different ways,
grow
I
'em.
assume.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of the most like you can cook a potato in any way, and it is gonna be cooked something different. You can mash them. I mean, I don't even have to go through the list, but you can just do them in all sorts of different ways.
Are you sure you don't want to go through the list? You sounded like you were really
Yeah,
into this list.
I mean, we could have Forrest Gumped it with the shrimp, but no.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Forrest Gump, what's your favorite movie then?
Ooh,
Doesn't have
that's a
to be
tough
Forrest
one.
Gump, but that would be a
It's
good
definitely
answer.
not Forrest Gump, but there's so many good movies. It honestly depends what type of mood I'm in, I'm guessing. Like the movie that I've seen more than any other movie would be up between The Crow and Pink Floyd's The Wall because I used to watch them all the time. Um, but yeah, it's hard to pick just a singular favorite movie.
So, speaking of movies, then, any movies coming out that you're interested in?
I'm watching Mortal Kombat tonight,
The new one?
the new one.
Are you excited about it?
Oh yeah, always excited.
In your honest opinion, was the first Mortal Kombat shat on a little too heavily, or was it given the appropriate amount of shit?
Um, for the time that it came out, like at the time, I don't think it was really shat on, but like after the fact, it was.
Okay, yeah, I feel like nowadays, like people are just
Oh
like, I
yeah,
mean, I'm actually super happy that the new Mortal Kombat came out because I
oh
feel
yeah,
like, so I work with people that are about 5 years younger than me. Okay, when I was younger, Mortal Kombat came out, and they're all just like, "That movie's terrible." I'm like, "That movie is amazing," and you will shut your mouth.
yeah. Like when it came out, I thought it was great. It was definitely really good for the time period. But I mean, I feel like every movie's like that, every remake's like that. You put 10, 15 years in between the releases, and you're gonna be like, that one was crap.
So, are you a fan of remake, or are you on the fence as far as just remaking goes?
It all depends.
All depends on how it's handled.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on how close they stayed to the original. Um, like one of the first horror movies I ever watched when I was younger was Salem's Lot, and you go back and watch it now, and it is hard to look at. It was done horribly, but when they remade it, they actually remade it really really good.
So, what would
They
your favorite remakes and your least favorite remakes be then?
oh well, I'm gonna go ahead and say Salem's Lot is one of my favorite remakes. Least favorite. Oh man, I got to think about that one. Like there's just some that are just bad.
I think least favorite's hard. I think the favorite's like the one that's like Oh, you think about it, and it was remastered, and you watched it then and now, and it's just like, oh, you did such a good job.
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. There's a lot of movies that should not be touched that will probably eventually one day be touched, and I don't know. I just think some things should be left alone.
Such as,
Uh, so Mighty Ducks, for example, they just keep pulling shows for the Mighty Ducks.
oh my god, That's such a great example. Leave it the fuck alone. There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with those movies. They aged wonderfully. I would be
yeah,
proud to show my kids all of the Mighty Ducks movies if they would sit and watch them.
yeah.
You ever get that from Violet? Does she ever you ever get the like you're really excited to show her an old movie or maybe an old game or something and she just like you're like you sit down, you're all ready. I had this happen a lot with Disney Plus where a bunch of the old Disney movies, me and my wife love them. We go to
Right.
watch them and my kids are just like you're old dad.
Yeah, I mean, when she was born, I had a hard drive full of Disney movies, so that's what she grew up watching. So it wasn't any good like shock or anything like that. She enjoys a lot of the old movies. Uh, she hasn't really sat down and been like, "This movie's horrible."
Well, that's good because I feel like there were a couple of ones that I was rather offended by that my kids were
Yeah,
just not like my soul hurt a little bit.
yeah. Okay, so uh, talk about bad movies that should just stop. Scooby Doo 3. They came out with
Yeah,
a third live action, and it was horrible. None of the original cast, none of the original voice actors. It was horrible.
the actors won't even get back in it. They're just like,
Yeah,
I'm done with this shit. I don't know what
yeah.
you're trying to do. I mean, I know a lot of people though that also think Star Wars should have stopped. Do you think Star Wars should have stopped, or are you okay with the later episodes that they made?
Some of the how it ended, I didn't like. Some of the storyline was a little bit out there, but overall, the storyline was cool to it. Um, I like the general idea of the storyline. How they acted it out, not really.
I mean, I feel like living up to the way they did that was a little bit weird for me.
Yeah,
I'm not. So I'm I guess it's episode one, two, three. I like those. Episode 4, 5, and 6. I can't like sit through them properly. I don't know why,
yeah.
but
I mean, I grew up watching 4, 5, and 6 on repeat, especially during the holidays. They were always on TV when I was a kid. 1, 2, and 3. I didn't like 1 at all. 2 was in the middle. 3 was in the middle.
it's
But
understandable.
the newer ones to me are just like 1, 2, and 3.
I think that if they, I mean, obviously there's reasons, but if they approach it from differently, it might have been better.
Yeah,
Uh, what is one of the things you've done in your life that you are the most proud of?
my daughter.
You know what? I asked you the question, okay?
Yeah,
And obviously I know you better than some other people here on Twitch. I just knew it. The moment I said that, I was just like, he's gonna say Violet. And that's such an awesome answer.
yeah. Like I don't
Because
even have to think about that. It's
because
just number one.
realistically speaking though, like as a parent, like what are you gonna do that's better than your kids, and especially if they don't turn out to be shitheads?
Right.
Like there is no greater accomplishment than all of that situation.
Yeah. I mean, it's just been Violet and myself for the past essentially 5, 6 years now. About 6 years. So, uh, yeah, I'm just proud of her.
Has it been hard being a single dad?
I think with all the like with the military at the time, it was hard. With all the moving, it was kind of hard. But she loves moving. She loves traveling. It was easy to do that with her. It was just trying to get her stable, I guess, in one place for a little
Yeah.
while. That part was hard, but now she's already like, when are we moving again? Because we've been here, like where I live now, we've been here for 3 years, and she's already ready to go.
That's such a long time. How could you stay in one place for 3 years, Dad?
Uh, family.
I
essentially.
I did a whole bunch of moving around when I was a little for slightly different reasons. It seems like you guys were moving because of your military stationing,
Yeah,
and I moved around because we couldn't keep an apartment. So I completely get the whole moving thing. I
yeah.
think the outlook on the situation sounds like it was a lot more positive in your situation, which is good. If she wants to move and she's excited about it.
Oh yeah, she talks about it a lot. Even when I don't bring it up, she talks about it, and she's like, "I'm just ready to go somewhere else." And I'm like, "All right, we'll get there."
Anywhere on your list for places to go?
Um, yeah, but that is for now on hold, just trying to plan things out.
Yeah, get everything set. You just finished school
Yeah,
and everything else. Were you working before the start of the pandemic or
yeah, I was actually working for the local hospital. I worked in the emergency room, and I was doing that a lot. And pretty much once the pandemic started, they cut my hours big time. Um, they were letting nurses take the shifts of the technicians, and
oh,
the nurses were making a lot of money from it.
that's I can't think of anybody else to describe that and say that kind of sounds grimy to me.
Yeah.
Them like
Um, yeah,
that's
it was pretty bad.
it's probably the almost the worst layoff story I've heard throughout the pandemic. Like I never got laid off, but
Yeah,
like yeah, ouch. So you were working in your field then for your education too,
right. And
which is
then,
very important. Like
oh yeah,
experience is like, oh my fucking god, like it's almost more than education at this point with how the job markets are shaping up when you go to look for jobs. Like that experience is worth at least, if not more, than
right,
that
right,
education that you spent all that time in.
right. And I mean, after that, like I started working from home for an insurance company, and on New Year's Day, they laid off 4,000 employees. So essentially, I've just been finishing school and doing Twitch.
Are you enjoying Twitch then?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I
Do
get to
you,
hang out with people.
do you have any hobbies outside of Twitch and video games right now, or not really?
I like hiking. I like getting outdoors. Just pretty much, I don't know, enjoying nature.
Does Violet enjoy these things?
Oh yeah, Violet is really into hiking and running and stuff like that. Um, I don't like running anymore. I used to a lot. Military kind of just killed it for me. Um, but yeah, we'll go out and do hikes anywhere from like 4 or 5 miles to about 12, and yeah, she definitely loves it.
I used to, believe it or not, I should preface this. Believe it or not, I used to run cross country and track, and it was my favorite form of exercising. It still is. Like, if I could, I need to get back into the shape to do it. But if I could do any exercise, that would be it. I'm gonna try some Ring Fit Adventure. That sounds like it might be fun. But that I always like that. But as far as the hiking goes, I have asthma and stuff, and it's really any like, dude. No matter how light I was ever. It's weird, but I just couldn't. I can't do stairs.
Hmm, fair.
Like literally, like when I was 180 pounds in high school, so like I'd climb up one flight of stairs and it would just be, oh man, like I'd run a mile long race. You know what I mean? Like, oh my goodness, so crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel for some people. My cousin was he had asthma really bad, and throughout like his adulthood, he just kept hiking, kept doing things, and he's gotten a little bit better with it. But it's like one of his favorite things to do, and he can't do it all the time.
Yeah. What is one of the craziest things in your life, or a really, really good breakaway from that topic about health that you've ever walked out of? Whether it
One
work,
of
school, a
one
wedding.
of the craziest things.
Yeah. The craziest
Um,
walkout story you have.
oh, like just physically walking out,
Just
where you took.
a month ago when I walked out of my job in the middle of a Saturday night dinner service with my friend and we just left him like that.
Um, Oh, I gotta think of ones I'm allowed to tell.
Totally. This is also totally related. I was writing these questions if nobody could tell. I have like questions I go through, and then we jump it back and forth. It's kind of how I do it. This is one of the ones that was totally expired. It was expired by that. It was inspired by that exact situation. It has just happened, and I'm writing these down. I'm like, ooh, when'd you walk out of something? I want to find out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the different times I've done it because the ones that come to mind probably aren't like TOS friendly.
Yeah, don't do any I was in the middle and then we were doing
Yeah,
and then Eiffel
yeah.
Tower and then I walked out. None of those
No.
stories, I guess. Those probably want to be the proper stories for the occasion.
So I think one moment of walking out was, I guess, when I was in the military, and we felt that something like it was just a regular training day, and we felt something was going to go completely wrong because people weren't listening. They were trying to force something to happen that shouldn't. And because of that, a multi-million dollar piece of equipment literally fell out of the sky. And we had just walked out beforehand, and we are like, we don't want anything to do with this. And that's what happened.
Yowzers.
Yeah.
you know, I wasn't expecting definitely not wasn't expecting multi-million dollar piece of equipment coming out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was, well, the whole system would probably be multi-million. The piece that was up in the air was a very big chunk of that multi-million. So, yeah, it was a very interesting day.
Sounds like it was a very interesting day. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think the most expensive thing I've ever broken was the freezer door at work. And that was like it was frozen shut and I had to get it open.
Yeah.
I got it open. Immediately berated. I'm just like, dude, you just watched me break in. Like the manager was there. He watched me break the door, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, at any point in time, like it didn't take me like 2 minutes to open this door. It took me like a half an hour. I'm like, at any point in the last half hour, like if you didn't want it open, because but we had to you gotta get your French fries because people gotta eat their French fries.
I mean, that's fair. It's for the potatoes.
Exactly. See, you get it. Potatoes, very important. So moving on into the gaming category, one of my favorite sections, of course, because that is the reason why I am here. I like video games. Do you like video games, CapnJesse?
I mean, yeah, I would say that's a pretty easy answer there.
Okay, so I'm reading a typo here, so I'm gonna. Would you call yourself a nerf then? A nerf, not a nerd.
Well,
Apparently, I spelled this wrong. Are you a nerf?
I mean, it's Nerf or nothing.
Nerf or nothing? Good. What is one of your first? What's the first video game that ever stuck with you? It really resonated with you.
Sonic on the
Sonic.
Sega Genesis. I had one. Well, let me take that back. My mom had one. We weren't allowed to touch it, but I would sneak up at nighttime and play it.
I had a
And
cousin that
then,
had one.
yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I got really good at it, and it was the game that first got me into video games. After that, I got a Super Nintendo, and it just went from there.
What was your first game on the Super Nintendo?
Um, ooh, that one's hard because when I first got it, I only had like two games with it, and one of them was a baseball game. And I just
Ooh.
remember, yeah, it was rough to play. And after that, I started getting a lot of the different Mario games, um, Yoshi's Island, stuff like that, and stuck with that for a long time. And just throughout the years, just got the newer systems as they came out or were going away. And there's a lot of classics that I remember playing that I really enjoyed, and there's a lot of them that you could forget.
Kind of a double hitter then. So I have my own opinions on sports and sports video games. What are your opinions on the two, sports and sports video games? How do you feel?
Um, I like watching sports. I like playing sports. I'm not one of those people that yell at the TV and stuff like that. I mean, I just enjoy it. I'll sit there and watch. But playing sports games, I'm just, I don't know. I can't get into it. Like for a while, I would try to play them and like do online mode or something, but I just can't get into sitting there and just doing game after game and just repeating the same thing over and over.
I think for me, sports video games are literally like the worst form of video games. I can't
Yeah.
think of any like genre of games that I dislike more. What is your least favorite genre of video games? Is it sports or is it something else?
Um, that's a. I don't know. I don't like. I don't like sports games, but I also don't like the whole like Sims and stuff like that. Like I just couldn't get into it.
I feel like there's a very specific subset of people that really, really like The Sims and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like the original SimCity. Okay, this throwback. That was like a masterpiece in gaming.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the OG one. I remember playing that, never understanding what was going on, but oh, this is awesome. But like the genre kind of evolves, and then you get like Roller Coaster Tycoon, and then you get The
Yeah.
Sims, and now they have like The Sims 5000 or whatever it's called. I
Yeah.
don't know
I
what the
mean,
one is now. Somebody was playing
yeah.
the other day, and they had a reward that was control their stream, and I was like, burn the house down.
So I liked Roller Coaster Tycoon for the same reason that all the kids liked it. Um, we would just unfinish roller coasters and just launch them and see if you can like clear gaps on the tracks. So
Oh
it
man, I
was
missed
great.
out on so much in my youth. Where was I
Yeah,
at with this idea? That's amazing.
it's a great idea.
Did you ever sneak off in school? When I was growing up, I
Yes.
assume it's around the same. Um, Computers were just kind of entering the school system. Did you ever like sneak off and play video games in the middle of school?
I stayed in the computer lab one time in the fourth grade to play the Oregon Trail after my whole class had left and a whole nother class came in. And I just sat there the whole time playing and then told my teacher I didn't realize the class had left, even though I fully knew what I did.
I actually got in
Um,
trouble for a very similar thing.
yeah,
I
and
used to
I stayed so long in there.
chill in third grade. I used to go to the computer lab for reasons, and like I was told that I was allowed to go, so long as it wasn't at a bad time. But
Right.
then one day I went like when it was supposed to be like a spelling test, I guess. I don't know. This was like third grade me decision levels. I was like, hey, spelling test? That's it's really good? That computer lab down the hall.
Yeah. I mean, I got in trouble for that one. I pretty much didn't do it again after that, but
Yeah.
we didn't have that many schools in our or that many computers in our schools and pretty
Yeah.
much until I got to high school.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how it worked. Like they were just getting added, and then in high school, all of a sudden we had a library that was full of them.
Right.
What is your favorite video game of all time?
Ooh. I'm going to have to go with Halo 3.
Okay, and why Halo 3 not Halo 2?
I put so many hours into Halo 3. I played Lasso, Legendary All Skulls only through Halo 3 when it first like they first started adding the skulls in them. Um, when all the multiplayer stuff was happening, all the different like map packs started coming out. I was on the beta for that, and I was just playing a lot of them. Like we were just testing the map, seeing if like we can break things for essentially for doing it for Halo, and it was just a lot of fun. Like 2008, 2009.
The only thing I remember from Halo is the Needler nerf.
Yeah, that was sad
I
when they took
remember
away the
learning
dual
how
wield.
to like dual wield needlers,
Yeah,
and then they nerfed it, and I'm just like, I don't like this game anymore. I think that was also when Gears of War was coming out though, and Gears of War was definitely the flavor of my school and my friends. We all used to
yeah.
play Gears.
I mean, Gears was good too. I did enjoy it. Gears has a really good storyline. The multiplayer I couldn't get too into.
I mean,
So
the multiplayer was usually rather imbalanced. I think something about remember when a two piece was a suit that came from Gears of War.
yeah,
Are you an Xbox, a PlayStation guy, or are you a member of the PC Master Race, Jesse?
So I'm going to go ahead and blow this whole category out of the water. I'm none of the above. I rather just play certain games, and I don't really care what console or PC it's on.
We'd like them all.
It's yeah, I mean, I'll take them all for what they have. Like, of course, there's console exclusives. There's like Halo for the Xbox, but then you've got like God of War for the PlayStation. I mean, each console's got their own like different pools to them, and then of course you got PC where you can just essentially play a lot more than you can on any console. Um, I think there's more variety on PC, and then each console's got their pool to it, so I'll play whatever. I'm not picky.
Are you a multiplayer guy, or do you prefer competitive? Well, multiplayer or single player, and are you a competitive person in video games? There you go.
It depends what I'm playing for competitiveness. And also for multiplayer, like I really enjoy shooter games. I don't play them as much anymore. I feel like I'm really good at shooter games, and mainly I've been sticking to horror or like storyline games as of like the past few months. It's just been a thing.
Well, so I think as far as streams go, it's a lot easier for most people to connect with the audience. Like shooters
Right.
are, I feel like I just imagine you as like my nephew used to play shooters, and I just imagine you just like at least at that level. And I feel like you need like a certain amount of attention that would just have to be poured into that game. So like
Right.
games like Story Base and Horror are probably a lot easier to connect with everybody, which I think you do a good job of. So
Yeah. I mean, I like the whole playing the storyline and being able to talk to people. Um, Recently, like I said, I did the Bioshock series, and that's a lot of shooting in that. So I definitely enjoyed getting back to a shooter. And but no, I mean, it all depends. I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, Warzone, stuff like that. I've won a lot of games on Warzone, but I haven't touched it since probably around December time period.
okay, so I've won 0 Warzone games.
I'm about at 40 something with like two or three solo wins.
Oh man, yeah. I am not. I am like I played some PUBG and I used to play some Call of Duty back in the day. I'm just not. I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't. I can't do the as some call them the shoots. I just can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield, like I've played a lot of those. I never got into PUBG, never got into Fortnite or anything. So
I think Warzone did a really good job of bringing the battle royale formula into a more palatable experience for more people.
yeah,
And
yeah, they really did.
I think Fortnite, like as much as people meme, like it had its thing and its like ideas, but the building thing for me, like I don't like Minecraft, okay? And then I'm playing a shooter, which I'm not good at, and then you want me to build shit in the middle of a shooter, and I'm just like, no, no.
Yeah, I never got into Fortnite. I played one game. I got second place. I never built anything. Had like 8 kills. I was like, yeah, I'm done. No, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, would you consider yourself good at video games then, Jesse?
No, I'm absolutely horrible.
Except for shooters, you're terrible except for shooters.
No, I feel like I can adapt pretty good to video games. And I just like to take things in as I'm playing. Like storyline games, I like to explore. Uh, like I just finished the medium, and I was 2 items away from 100%ing the game, and I didn't even know what I was going for. I went into the game completely blind, so it was. I don't know. I feel like I adapt to games pretty well, so I end up playing pretty well.
So you'd probably say that you're more of a completionist as opposed to a video game quickie guy?
Yeah, essentially, and that all depends on the game as well. There's certain games that I've gone through and not tried to be a completionist that I've gone back to 100% them later on.
I think, and I don't know how you feel, but as I've grown up and responsibilities come on harder, kids, school, work, I think that being a completionist just isn't where it's at for me anymore. There's so many games now. Like, um, I don't even know if you remember, like back in the day, like Game Informer magazines.
Oh yeah, I used to get them all the time because I had that GameStop membership.
Like they have them now, but the number of games that are being released now compared to back then is just almost hard to fathom, in my
Oh yeah.
opinion. Like,
The one cool thing that I've noticed with games coming out, like how much they come out now, is that there's a lot more developers, and there's Sony and Microsoft take on a lot of indie developers, where before those indie developers couldn't get anything.
yeah, like
So
I mean, Bethesda used to be more of an indie. Obviously, they became a household name, but they got bought out by somebody
right,
somewhere. Supergiant, they're the ones that did Hades. Which
right.
do you prefer? Is there any preference for you, whether indie game or major studio, or not really?
Um, Not really. Like if I'm playing a story game, I'm playing it just to have a good story. I'm not trying to waste money on games. Uh, I just want to have fun while playing, essentially.
Do you buy games on release or not really?
Not really. A lot of the games I have through Xbox Game Pass and Steam for when I usually stream.
And like
Uh,
various sales and stuff come up.
yeah, and when sales come up, or like on Game Pass, there's like 100 games in their catalog, and you pay like $15 a month or $10 a month for PC. So, like, I don't mind pulling games off of that, and especially games that I'm like on the fence about because I don't have to worry about, I guess, spending all my money on something if I'm not sure how it's going to pan out.
Makes sense. Did you buy No Man's Sky?
Nope, can't
That's
say I
a
did.
great example of a game that came out that's just kind of shit the bed, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
What it?
My brother bought it, and I was like, "You shouldn't buy it yet. Just let it come out." I was like, I'm not sure about this game," and he bought it and could never get into it. So,
I it was. See, I am told that they have made it better, which is one of the nice things. Yet also one of the problems I think with games these days is, um, they can improve the game, but I feel like it's not even like people say it, but it's actually super true that people they like release games that are broken. They're like, oh, I'll fix it. I don't feel like that's a good way to go about things either. But it's nice that when there is a mistake, they can go back and they can change it with all the updates and stuff.
oh yeah, that's a big thing too. There's a lot of games that have come out that they weren't in their prime to come out yet, and people have pushed for the release because they're like, "We're ready for this game now," and it comes out and everything just shits the bed, and it just crashes essentially all the time. And Cyberpunk's a great example of this. I've heard it's a great game. I've not played it. I've not wanted to buy it yet. Maybe down the road.
Maybe when it's
But
not $60.
yeah, like it was on sale recently for $35, and I still didn't buy it. Um, it
35 is
was just
a little expensive for my taste.
yeah. I mean, I thought about it, and I just didn't do it because I had so much other stuff to line up to play. Um, but I feel like they're still working on stuff. Uh, in general, they're still trying to put stuff together and still trying to make things work in the game, especially on the consoles. So it's a completely different experience, I guess. So it's not crashing all the time.
What is your personal proudest gaming moment?
Ooh. Uh,
Or multiple if you have a couple that are tied. I love hearing about people's tops for games.
so of course, when like I mentioned earlier, doing the solo legendary all skulls on for Halo 3. I've managed to do it for the first 4 Halo games so far. I haven't even attempted the 5th one. I mean, all of
That's
those were
insane.
proud. Yeah, all of those were proud moments. They took me forever. Then I guess when a couple years ago, my sister came to visit, and she went to go get a tattoo, and then my tattoo artist was my friend, and he had one of the Super Nintendo classics hooked up in his tattoo room, and I essentially beat Super Mario World 3, I think it was, uh, while my sister was getting a tattoo,
Oh,
and
shit.
still had like 60 something lives left at the end of it.
CapnJesse's first speedrunning experience. You all just heard
Oh
about
yeah,
it right now.
pretty much. But no, I mean, it's just stuff like that, like just small little things. Like, all right, I still got it. I haven't touched this game in so long, but definitely Halo's probably got to be up there with the legendary all skulls on solo. Because I mean, if you die at any point, you're going all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
What is your current What are your current video game addictions? What are you hooked on right now, Jesse?
Funny you should mention Hook. I've been playing Dead by Daylight a lot, and I've been running killer on that.
Got the cap and
Uh,
hook, line, and sinker with that one.
yeah. Um, been doing every week. I do Phasmophobia. That's always going to be a favorite of mine, as much as you dislike it. I
Then
absolutely love it.
oh man, I tried. Okay, I will tell you honestly, you're the first streamer who I've ever tried to watch play Phasmo. Okay,
Yeah.
and like I just watch you play, and then they did that update, which I think you like the update, don't you?
Oh yeah, I love the
It
updates.
just makes it way more confusing for me. I have no idea what's going on even further now. It's just like
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun. Phasmophobia. It's not one of those games that's just out there to scare you. I enjoy doing the co-op with friends. Like it's like Serena and I play every week. We just made a date night, and it's been a lot of fun. And uh, it's it, it's just become a thing. It's a staple.
I see. It's probably just me. I feel like I'm probably just resistant to these super large releases where whether you want to call them flavors of the month or whether you want to call them the
Right.
new massive multiplayers like the Fall Guys. Like I played that once. Among Us. Oh, I still don't like it. And like Phasmo came out, and I was just like, some of it for me. As far like I can watch all the Phasmo content I want. Like I still
Right.
could. Like when it releases, I can go and watch other streamers I know. I will always know a streamer who's playing it, and then I can get the experience through there.
Yeah. I mean that's fair. I was gifted Phasmo, and just because people wanted me to play with them,
Yeah, I
and I
mean,
was like, yeah, yeah, sure, I'll do it.
listen, if
And
anybody wants to start gifting games because they want to play them, be my
yeah,
guy. I'm not promising I'm gonna play them with you, but go ahead.
well,
Just
I have a thing like if it's in a reasonable game and I get
yeah,
gifted, I'll play it on stream. And recently, I played through Red Dead Redemption 2. I had only watched a couple people play certain parts of it,
yeah.
so I that was a fun shooting game for me. I had a lot of fun. It was just a good story. But I was gifted the game, and I I went through 19 or 20 streams playing it and put in like 100 or so, or no, up until I finished the storyline, I think I put in like almost 60 hours, but since then I put in a lot more.
I think that is a great policy. Actually,
Yeah.
I haven't been gifted very many games, but I think like not for like giveaways or whatever, because giveaways are slightly different. But I feel like if somebody's gonna gift you a game, like why not? You know,
Right.
they're
And like,
there to enjoy your stream, and you're. I mean, what better way to be like, yeah, thank you so much, than to be like, well, we're at least gonna try it.
right.
As long
And I
as it's not
mean,
like Leisure Suit Larry or whatever, you know.
oh
Obviously, that's
yeah.
not happening.
Yeah. I mean, that you can't get away with, but uh like Bendy and the Ink Machine, I'm going to be starting that up because it was a gift, and Like Red Dead was a gift, and Phasma was a gift, and it's just all of those just lined up, and they've all been really fun to play so far.
I think that I'm really interested in that. You were talking about it a little bit
Yeah,
because it just Cuphead. It's just like I just think that, and I don't know if I've seen the game, and this is why I'm thinking that, but just I think Cuphead. Like when I think ink and stuff, because the way that Cuphead was drawn, it's like immediately where I am. I know it's darker, and I can't wait for it though.
right.
I mean, I guess I'll have to wait until Monday. But I will be waiting
Yeah,
until Monday. But other than that,
yeah, and I'm essentially going in blind. So it's going to be fun. We'll see how far I get.
are you more of a blind kind of playthrough guy for any games, or does it not really matter to you?
It doesn't really matter. I do like having the whole I don't know anything about this game, let's find out together. Um, but I don't know. I'm up in the air about it. I've done some blind playthroughs of games that I wasn't very impressed with, especially recently, and then I've done some games recently that I've played before, some of them multiple times that I just absolutely love.
Yeah, I think
So
that I'm one of the very few people that I don't care if it's blind at all. Like, let's say you have a game and I don't get a chance to get to it before you play it. I'll just sit there and I'll watch the stream and chill and watch you play it, and then I'll get to it. And it won't bother my playthrough at all. But I
right,
know some people who are just like, you ruined my damn month. Like, you told me this one thing about what happened in the game, and sometimes it's like smaller details that I'm a little bit
right,
like, yeah, does it matter that you knew that there's a gun in Hades? Does that really affect the way you're going to play the game, or are you being a little
right.
ridiculous?
So like with Hades, for example, I knew at the 10th run there was, or after 10 wins, there was going to be, spoiler alert, everybody, after 10 wins, there's a ending, like sort of an
Like a
ending.
story ending, like a.
Yeah. Well, I was like, okay, I know that's going to happen. I didn't realize that it was going to happen on the 10th run. Like,
Oh, yeah, I didn't know
so
that he was just going to move out of the way. 'Cause
yeah,
I,
I
I
thought I was
knew
going to
like
have
10
to
runs was
fight.
it, but he just like.
Yeah. Yeah. He just let you go. And I'm like, okay. And I mean, since then, I've gotten the other credit ending. Um, I'm not going to spoil that one because I know a lot of people have not gotten it.
I have not. I have
Yeah.
just done speed runs of that game. That's all I do. I'm
Yeah.
just I'm gonna do some 40 heat runs probably later tonight and
Yeah.
maybe coming up on some Thursdays. But I've just been
Yeah.
like, can I get it under 9 minutes? Spoiler alert,
Yeah.
it happened.
Yeah. You did. But yeah, there is another ending to Hades for those of you that have not seen it yet. I'm not going to spoil it because it's actually kind of cool. Way better than the first ending. Um,
The first
and
ending
you get
it made
it was
sense.
yeah, it was cool how they did it, but the second ending it really throws a lot more story onto it. And I got that one probably around run 60 or so. So
I'm on run 145 and I don't have the second, so I'm behind.
yeah, you essentially to get it, you have to get almost max reputation with almost
Oh
everybody.
yeah, see, I have like now, so I have like 35 of those things, the
Yeah,
elixirs, and I just clicking through. No, I don't care. What are you talking about? I don't care. I don't care.
I mean
So
that's fair too.
after all this gaming talk, though, if you could make any game, what kind of game would it be? This question comes from Agent Spacely, by the way. He came up with what would your game that you make be like? Assuming, obviously,
Ooh.
none of the logistical things about making games come into play.
Yeah, I think it would be a combination of a lot of different things. I would really like a legit good, uh, I guess, pirate storyline game, essentially like Black Flag, but better. If you combine elements from a bunch of different games, such as the my favorite thing about Black Flag was, of course, the ship, getting to sail around, getting to board other ships, sink other ships, like add that. Um, but you add actual gunfighting in there, and not just like I'm gonna pull the trigger and automatically hit you, like where you actually have to aim. And I mean, there's a few things that I would like to add to it, but essentially just like let's bring up a whole history section and talk about what pirates actually did. It'd be cool.
Sounds interesting. So just
Yeah,
like a pirate video game.
yeah,
Story heavy,
essentially. Yeah, well, very story heavy, and use
multiplayer,
actual figure.
or single player.
I think it should have two different modes. I think there should be a multiplayer mode, sort of like how they did Red Dead. Red Dead Redemption 2's got the single player story, which is huge, and then it's got online where you can go role play, do whatever you want, fight other people, whatever.
How about difficulty? Are there multiple difficulty settings? Is it like one and you have to just slog through it like Dark Souls? Is it not a slog? Because it doesn't have to be a slog.
Yeah, I mean, I would add different difficulty settings, of course. Like you got your easy, medium, hard, and then like expert mode or legendary mode, whatever you want to call it.
All skulls mode.
Yeah, yeah, essentially. I think being able to do that would add different layers to the game because you could pull in people that want to just try hard and sweat over the game, or you can just pull in people that just want to like, I've had a long day at work, let me go fuck people up on my pirate ship, sort of thing.
Have you ever played Sea of Thieves? Because this is kind of the talk is
Yeah,
reminding me that I've never gotten to play it, but I know like Sea of
I
Thieves plays a certain way.
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I played it when it first came out a little bit, and then I didn't play it for a long time, and then I went back and tried it again. It just wasn't my thing. It's just a lot of. It reminds me of if you mix Minecraft with pirates and not make everything pixelated. It's just a lot of like I've got to gain loot and make things.
So before we're done with the games, before we move into streams, I need to know what your game bucket list is for the moment. Like name like 3 to 5 games that you just haven't gotten a chance to, whether it's a time thing or they're not out yet. Like what games do you want to play?
Um, so some of them that aren't out. I recently played through Hellblade for the second time, 100%ed it. I want to play Hellblade 2. It's slotted to come out. I haven't seen a release date, but they've had trailers of it and everything. That's one of them. Um, Control is another one that I really want to play. I've seen a little bit of gameplay and it just looks like it's something that would be a lot of fun, a lot of manipulation into the game. It's not like a linear path, like this is how you have to do it to win. Uh, and then one game I'm really looking forward to is Bioshock 4 when that comes out.
Do you
Um,
have any details on this? Are they
so
doing
they've
it continuation of 2, or is it going to be more of the infinite stuff?
so they haven't really said what it's going to be. The main thing they've said about it though is that it's going to be a big open world game. It's not going to be like, hey, do this to go to here, do this to go to here. It's going to give you a selection of things you need to do, and you've got to do them all and unlock other stuff along the way. They're bringing in a few of the Fallout 4 designers to help with the open world stuff, so should be interesting.
Hopefully they do it good. I think that for the most part, I've seen good things out of all of those games actually that you mentioned. So hopefully that
Yeah.
all of those are good. So moving on into the streaming stuff, I think that okay, I'm gonna do this new thing where I talk about how I met you streaming because I think
Okay.
that Twitch is interesting, right?
Yeah.
If anybody thinks about it, like Twitch is like you get like these interesting connections where you meet people from, and there's almost always like a story. Sometimes it's just like somebody popped up in the chat, but as far as other streamers go, like so I met CapnJesse through Twitter, through your brother-in-law, actually, Virtue.
Yeah.
He, I've never seen him do this for anybody before or since. He promoted you. He was like, "Listen, my brother-in-law, he just started streaming. He's gonna do the one chip challenge if he gets affiliated, right?" And this was
Right.
right after I decided to do the same thing on my stream, and I was like, I can throw him a follow. So I followed you. Then you were nice enough to come into my stream, and the rest is, as they say, very spicy history.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was I was going to do the one chip challenge anyways, but I figured people wanted to watch me do it, so why not? I was playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla at the time, and yeah, I got affiliate. I got to meet a lot of cool people, and you're talking about like the network of people that you meet and stuff. One night a couple weeks ago, I actually went on to Paint, and I got bored, and I made like a web graph on how I've met people and who I've met through certain people and like different streamers I've met through different people. And I'm just going to continue growing on that, making it bigger and bigger as I go.
Super
So
cool.
yeah, it's been kind of like a cool experience. Like that's what I've done because I didn't have school. I'm like, I don't have any work to do. Let me go
I
make a
got this
web graph.
very, very important document we need to get through. I'm gonna make a web graph. It's gonna be like a
Yeah.
spider web.
Yeah. Essentially that's what it is. And like I was watching people stream beforehand and I was like, that would always be cool to do. And one night I was just sitting there. I was like, I have a camera, I have a PC. Um, Let me just start playing. And it went from there. And here I am today.
So would that be what got you into streaming then? Just the
Uh,
fuck it, why not? Or was there any longer story than that?
so I got into it mainly because COVID was going on. It was hard to keep in touch with people. A lot of people just secluded themselves, and I was like, this would be a cool way to branch out. I enjoyed watching other people's streams and getting to talk with other people. I was like, well, it'd be cool if I got to play games and people came and talked to me, and that's where it started. And then from there, I've just met so many people along the way, and it's just become a really cool experience.
Seems like a silly question at this point then, but do you like streaming?
Absolutely not.
No, you hate it?
No, no, I really enjoy it. It's just become such a like I look forward to doing it. Every now and then I get those times where I'm like, do I really want to do it today? Because I just feel like there's so much going on.
Yeah.
Uh, but I feel like everybody goes through like a little burnout phase every
Yeah.
now and then.
I think there's like whether you want to call mine my monthly cycle or what you want to however you want to look at it. I think there's like a little bit of like and this goes with viewership and like your feelings about streaming, and it's not always like they're usually two different like whether you want to call them curves. But like I think
Right.
everybody gets to like their highs and their lows,
Oh yeah.
and it is exhausting.
Yeah.
Um even like you stream it for like 5 hours Monday and Wednesday, don't you?
Yeah. I usually try to do about 5 hours Monday, 5 hours Wednesday, and then Tuesday I try to go for about 3.5 hours and just see how we go.
So like have you, when you first started, or even now, do you kind of end a stream and like you're just like, oh, like tired? Because I know when I first started, like I got the tired, heavy style. Like I'd stream for 3 hours, I'd get done, and I'd be like, oh my god, did I just like exercise? Like what's going on? Because I mean, I don't exercise.
No, I mean, I would I don't know. I finished streaming a lot and I'm just like, all right, like my first thought is that went great. Let's like even if it was a crappy stream, I always tell myself that went great. Let's go make some food.
Go
And
make
that's
some
like almost
food.
that's always my first thing. And even as soon as I stop streaming, like I'm not off Twitch. Like whoever I rated, I stay in their stream as long as I can. Um, if I if I don't stay in their stream, like if they end up going offline or rating somebody else, I usually find somebody else I know and I stay in their stream. Like Twitch is up almost every moment in my house because I'm just staying in people's streams, even if I don't say anything. And like I'm usually just hanging out.
Getting out that support.
Yeah,
One of the things
I
that I
mean,
definitely appreciate about you and many others that I know, especially in your community and some in mine, is how supportive they are of many people on Twitch, not just like one or two people, but like getting out there and being like, even just putting kind of like along with the whole conversation about feelings and how we're all real people here. Even just getting up that lyric for somebody a lot of the time can give them a confidence boost, can put a smile on their face, or God forbid you actually have the time to chat. That usually is like a +10 as far as all that goes.
Right. I mean, I try to keep up at least 2 streams at a time. Like for example, right now, I mean, I'm on your stream and I'm also in your stream and I'm in somebody else's stream too. So it's like just just trying to support what I can do, and because I
Do
mean, a
what
lot
you
of people have
can with what you
supported
got.
me. Yeah, a lot of people have supported me along the way, um, and it's been a cool trip so far.
How long have you been streaming for?
I started my very first stream was in October last year. I did one stream and completely crashed my computer. Um,
Way
so
to
I
do it.
really didn't. Yeah, I don't even know how I did it. It just ended up happening. It was an older PC, and I thought it could handle it. Um, and then November rolled around. I got a new setup and just went from there. I was actually gifted the computer that I use now, and from there, it took me about a month or so to get affiliated. And I mean, it's felt like it's flown by since.
Has it been a bumpy road or kind of smooth sailing for you, or a little bit of both? I
Um,
guess it could be.
it was bumpy to start off with. The whole doing the spicy chip challenge, that was a big help. People like to hang out and just enjoy the stream, and after I guess getting set up in a certain like schedule, I was able to sort of just keep a constant flow of people coming in and watching, people chatting. Um, I know recently, like I lost a whole bunch of followers because a whole bunch of bots and actual user accounts got deleted. But I don't really consider it a bump in the road. It's just more room to grow.
I don't. I don't know. It didn't feel like anybody, because it did actually kind of seem in your situation for the most part that it was a lot of bots, because it didn't feel like you were missing anybody. And that's
Yeah,
that's one
well,
thing about Twitch in general that I've noticed is even if you lose follows and like people go, like, do you remember the last person who? I mean, you probably don't, because this is the kind of point in what I'm saying. Do you really remember the last person who unfollowed you, who you miss?
not that I really miss. I do know a lot of people that have unfollowed me. I've had people raid me that unfollow me later, which I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's my whole thing is I've been able to come onto Twitch. I've been able to stream, talk with friends, meet some of the most amazing people that I've ever come across in life just through this website that lets me play video games.
Do you think then that Twitch gets a little extra bit of the shit stick then, as far as people's opinions, or do you think it's kind of a healthy dose of people shitting on them versus letting them be?
Um, I think that it just depends on how you look at it. So there's a lot of things that like can happen through Twitch that are good, and then there's a lot of things that are just done bad in general. Um, if you're concerned about numbers, if you're concerned about like trying to get out there, be big, there's a lot of things that could end up bad for you on Twitch just in general because of how you're how they show people, how they advertise people and such. They lean a lot on big names. They lean a lot on we're going to try to make a profit off of this. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Amazon. Uh, so with coming on the Twitch with the idea of I'm just here to have fun has been some of like the most enjoyable moments of like gaming that I ever remember in my life. So like I've had streams that I've come on and only had like 2 or 3 people watching, and I've been completely fine with it. I've had streams where I've come on and I think my highest stream I had 82 people in there at one point. Um, either way, it's just been a hell of a ride, and I've just been having fun with it. And that's how I look at it, and that's why I enjoy it so much.
Feel like you're seeing into my soul right now. You're like, yo, some people care about numbers. So,
Yeah.
but
like
so,
I
on a serious note, though, so you said it's just for fun.
yeah.
Going forward with Twitch, Is it always just going to be that for fun? Could you ever see yourself interested in it as a job, or literally just like I come on, I stream, I enjoy myself, and then don't take it seriously? Which honestly, I'll be the first one to admit that. I mean, if that was my mentality and I could just get in that mindset,
Yeah.
it would be so much healthier as far as anything goes on here. It's just I'm not. I
Right.
want to have fun. I do have fun. You know what I mean? But it's
Right.
still like my original ideas for getting on it still are just like, hey, maybe one day I could do this.
Yeah. I mean, when I first joined, I knew that I was not going to be anywhere close to making partner. Um, I didn't want to set that goal for myself only because of the fact I was like, I was at the point where I was like, I just want to play games with people. And then when I had the one chip, I was just like, you know what, this would be fun to actually get affiliated and do this because maybe I can like have that constant flow of people coming in. Because when I was just starting, it was cool. I had people come and go, but nobody was constant. Once I got affiliated, I had constant like friends in there being able to talk with me. I was like, this is cool. Like, this is what I'm here for. Um, One day, if I ever got to the point where I could do partner stuff, maybe. I just don't count on it.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could only do Twitch. I don't know, I'm a person that likes to be into something that's not just gaming. So I think even if I was partner, I would still be working another job.
Well, you could also do Twitch. Sorry, because Twitch isn't just gaming. I know it's a big part of game. That is why most of us
Hmm.
get on Twitch. But you could also do other interesting things on Twitch
Yeah.
or creating content if that's something you're interested in. Obviously, you don't have to. You could still do whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one thing I've done too. So thanks to some lovely viewers of mine that convinced me to start doing story time because they like to hear me read. So we've done this, and it's become like a hit. Like
I mean, you
people
started off
stick
with such a
around.
good story.
I know. I mean, Go the Fuck to Sleep was such a great story, and we've clipped it, and it's been great. Like every week now, we do story time after doing spooky games. So
So, what is the biggest you could see yourself being on Twitch?
um,
Like the point where you're just like, okay, this is my Twitch fill. I mean, it could be no limit, or it could just be like, okay, you know, it doesn't have to be numbers either. It can be like a feeling, if that makes any sense.
yeah, no, I get that. So when I first started, even when I first got affiliate, like this is bigger than I thought that I would be on Twitch. I figured I was only ever going to get like, I don't know, a couple subs a month, just having fun, talking with friends. And I've been able to have such like a great community around that's been able to talk, hang out, grow with. I've been able to visit people. I've been in other people's streams now. Um, I was in somebody's cooking stream actually a couple weekends ago, and
What? You
yeah, I
photobombed their
traveled.
stream? The
Yeah,
the nerve
I
of you,
did.
Jesse. The nerve, man.
Yeah, so I ended up driving from Virginia to Illinois, and it was about 11 hours or so. And I spent the weekend in Illinois, and ended up doing a cooking stream on Sunday, and turned around and drove home, and was home Sunday night, Monday morning. So it was it was definitely a fun time. But I never thought any of that would ever happen when I first started. So I mean, I feel like at this point, like I feel like I'm having a lot of fun. So
I think that's like it's really cool. I know a lot of people go into it with unrealistic expectations.
right,
Personally, I intentionally kind of like curbed my expectations in general. Like I think I'm really good at games. If you haven't noticed, I think I'm good at games. I profess that I'm good, but that's why I got in. Got into Twitch, and we also had the whole COVID thing and time for
mm,
that. But I think part of it is, at least for me, and I don't know, it doesn't sound like you've had any of this issue at all, which is a good thing. Is like
Yeah.
sometimes you like get to that high, right?
Right.
And then it's just like the going down part can be very rough. Like, and for me, it's more about the people, like almost like the friends that are not there anymore. If that makes any sense.
No, no, I get that. There's been a lot of people that were around. Um, they were around when I started, I guess. Um, they like to hang out. They like to come talk, and I've just sort of lost touch with them. Like I've reached out and messaged, and I just don't hear from them anymore. So I'm just like, okay, it's not nothing that I take personally at this point.
Yeah,
It's always just growing in general, and it's always just moving on in life. Not trying to say that to sound like an asshole, but it's just I'm not going to get stuck on something that I can't control.
I think
So
that's a really good piece of advice too, though. In general, it's in Twitch
yeah,
and life in general, but just like sometimes just get over it. And
yeah,
that's the simple
yeah,
way of putting it. Like you move on, but like sometimes you just got to get over it. Especially like is your stream gonna be about Giselle? Is your stream gonna be about the fact that you only have 10 people there, or are you gonna make it about something way more productive?
yeah. And I mean that's been a big thing too. I've had I've had game groups that we used to have a designated time, like, hey, we're going to play this and we're going to stream it, and those people just fell off to the wayside because they just either stopped playing or things happened that they weren't happy about, and they just decided I don't want to be around this anymore. Um, and for me, I feel like I've been able to continuously meet great people throughout Twitch and just be who I want to be. And I'm a really patient person. I'm a really laid back person. So it's a complete growing experience. So I'm happy about it.
Do you think you've grown as a person then since you started Twitch?
Um, I think I've just been able to show more people that I am just who I am. It's just
I I think that
I don't know.
I think that one of the only piece of advice I heard before I started streaming that really I thought resonated with me and I still like to this day is that you can really be your best self on Twitch,
Oh
right?
yeah,
You don't have to be a shad, you don't have to be an asshole. You don't have to like go out and like attack people and stuff. So why not? And I think you definitely exemplify this idea that I have in my mind of somebody who goes out and is their best self on Twitch. You know, you sitting there playing Phasmo on your date nights, Mr. Smiley Boy laughing at stuff with your wine in your hand.
yeah.
Um, so what is the worst part of the Twitch experience for you so far?
Um, I think the worst part has been like I've had one bad burnout phase. Uh, I even cut a stream very short during that phase. There was just a lot of stuff going on and like personal life stuff, like school, uh, family life, and I just had to like step away. And I think that's been like my worst part. Um, and even that day that I did that, I think I pissed off quite a few people because I lost probably like 5 or 6 followers that day.
And you were just like, I just am not into it today.
Yeah, I was completely honest with people, and I told them I was like, I just don't feel like doing this. Um, I think that I forgot what I was playing at the time, but I just told them I was like, I think this game's crap. I don't feel like doing this. I just got too much going on, so I'm just gonna stop. I didn't even raid anybody or anything. I just turned stream off, and
I
I
think
had to
that
take a little while to just clear my head.
I think that that's probably not a terrible idea. I've definitely had those
Yeah,
moments where I probably should have just been like, no, I'm
yeah,
done. Um, do you keep up on any larger streamers at all or no?
yeah. Actually, I do. Um, Recently, I got introduced to one by somebody very wonderful. Um, The streamer's name is Granny. She streams a lot of horror, Dead by Daylight, stuff like that, and is a lot of fun to watch. Uh, it just looks like the storybook grandma, talks like the storybook grandma, and she's a wonderful streamer, extremely hilarious. And I definitely encourage people like, hey, go watch Granny. She interacts with the whole chat. Like, she doesn't just sit there and let messages roll by. Like, she reads stuff off. People subscribe, cheer, whatever. She reads everything. So it's been really cool.
So I want to save some of these very some of my favorite questions for the end. We're gonna pivot right now. We're gonna go to all of the audience questions that we had.
Sounds good.
And we'll see what everybody has to say. Everybody wants to know from you. If anybody would like to ask more questions right now, would be the ideal time for that. Let me just open this up. I should be able to just hit this one button, and then I go to where is it? Request queue. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah,
So we are on to our audience questions.
Just saw some Granny emotes in the chat, so
oh, I still need to do that. Okay, that happened. Nope. Yep, I need to do a good job, by the way, of... There we go. So we'll start with we'll do it in the same order. We'll do real life stuff, and then we will do we'll do the IRL questions. We'll do gaming
sounds
and
good.
whatever. What is the best part about being a dad?
Okay, the best part about being
this
a
question
dad.
comes from Reaper's Grave.
Okay, Reaper. Best part about being dad is getting to watch your kid grow and enjoy things. So like just watching somebody learn is rewarding in itself, but when your own kid is doing it and you're helping them, that's just it's absolutely amazing. It's a great feeling. And it's one of my favorite things, like just because I know my daughter loves video games and she loves watching a lot of my streams. There's a lot of them I don't let her watch, but
Like
I let
the
her
late
watch
night
quite
date
a
night
few.
ones.
Yeah, oh no, we don't watch those. So there's some streams, some games I let her watch. I even have a special command for her in my chat. Um, so she'll watch some of the games. She enjoys them. And I think another one of my favorite things is the fact that she thinks that people that stream on Twitch are just famous. So she's like made me stuff and brought me stuff and just thinks the fact that her dad's famous, and that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is your favorite kind of cheese? Emmy would like to know.
Brie.
Brie cheese? Why
Brie cheese.
Why?
Brie cheese is like it's the go-to cheese. Like you can have it in so many different ways that I don't know how many people like Triscuits here, but Triscuits with like warm brie cheese, it's bomb.
We're gonna ask you about like
Smoked brie.
Melba and Brie. Is that like a combo you enjoy?
I don't think I've actually had that combo. Usually when I eat brie cheese, it's just like brie cheese and like prosciutto or turkey or like Triscuits. Like it's good however you have it.
Definitely try. So the only kind of Brie I've had, it was good. The only time I tried it is go sweet. Go sweet with it. You got to try it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like Melba is like a mix of raspberry sauces. And I just remember it was like Melba, Brie, and crackers, and it was one of the fancier restaurants we went to. We had that. I mean, it was overly expensive for what I got put on my plate, but it was delicious.
Yeah. No, I mean, it sounds good. Like I see, like brie with strawberries is good too.
This question comes from CapnJesse.
Okay.
Where do babies come from, CapnJesse?
Netflix and chill.
Great answer. If you could see, wow. Could you see yourself doing an outdoorsy activity like hiking, boating, camping, or in an IRL category on Twitch? This comes from By Curious George.
Sort of. I would love to one day be set up in an area where I can do an outdoorsy type stream, but like I want to do like metal forging or do woodworking, something like that. I I saw the question pop up, and it immediately brought back a streamer that I used to watch that doesn't stream anymore, unfortunately. They've deleted their account. But they used to deliver telegrams in a big city in Europe, and the city had an infrastructure of Wi-Fi, so they were constantly on a Wi-Fi network, and they were recording themselves riding their bike, delivering telegrams around the city, and it was a really cool thing.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, and I enjoyed watching it. It was cool. You got to see the city in one camera view and then see him in another riding his bike, and then he was reading chat. He had 3 different phones set up on his bike so he can do everything.
Coffee first would like to know what game has surprised you the most.
Um, I'm gonna go with a game that had a double surprise for me, BioShock Infinite.
Okay, continue.
The ending for it was just mind blowing. How they bring all these different realities together. They bring um, just how the story comes to a closure. But then when they came out with DLC and they bring in that another reality and they bring in the same characters and how they continue it with the rest of the BioShock games and how it just flows from Infinite right into BioShock 1, that to me was another very surprising moment.
Zellshot would like to know, as he stares at his Red Bull,
Hmm.
about your Rogue Energy sponsorship, how that came about, and the details about it.
Okay, so the Rogue Energy, um, I stumbled upon them a while back, actually, right before I started streaming. Um, I was drinking a Monster or like a Bang every single day, at least one. I was working night shifts and I was up all day with my daughter. I was sleeping like 2 to 3 hours a night or like a day. I don't even know what time it was. Time's irrelevant. Um, so I looked into a cheaper option and I found Rogue. Uh, they make a powder that you just mix with water. It's a single scoop. 30 servings come into a tub, and essentially, you spend after shipping, you spend about $35 on a tub. So that's 35. Yeah, $35 on essentially 30 energy drinks, and they don't crash you. They don't have that jittery effect, and I found them really good. Like 0 calories, 0 sugar. Um, I absolutely loved them. So once I started streaming, I saw they had an affiliate program, and I wasn't able to apply at first. I got turned down a couple times, but once I hit affiliate on Twitch, I was like, "Look, I've been buying this for a while. Can I like join the affiliate program?" And eventually, I was able to join it, and now I have like a discount code for people to use. Quite a few people have been buying it recently, and I make a little bit of money off of it, but they also get a discount. So after shipping, I think they're paying like $32 for 30 days worth of energy drinks.
I am going to be completely honest with you. I'm really excited about this. We've been talking about it.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned that there's no aftertaste,
Oh
and
yeah.
that is like for me the most exciting part about it because I've tried Bang energy drinks. First off, they are more expensive, and the second thing
Oh
about
yeah.
them is they have a weird aftertaste.
They really do. And I mean, the whole thing, like there's a lot of people that are like, "Oh, well, what about sugar? What about this? What about that?" 'Cause energy drinks are notorious for sugar. This is 0 sugar, 0 calorie, and it's just a mix. It's not a They do have a pre-workout sections, but it's not a pre-workout drink. Like everything is different in their whole setup. And like I actually have a tub of it right here because it came in the mail today, but I can show it. It might be green screened out a little bit, but it is Rogue Energy Cherry Limeade, and I'm really excited to try it because the Cherry Limeade sold out so quickly the first time it came out
You're gonna have
that
to tell me about that because I'm gonna be
yeah,
setting my order up. So if that's amazing, let me
oh
know.
yeah, yeah, we're definitely gonna be trying that out tomorrow morning. Um, I had strawberry or watermelon kiwi this morning, blue raspberry, like all the flavors are great. And to me, I've saved so much money. I was buying 4, 12, like whatever size packs of Monster or Bang Energy and spending like
Like
for four
15, 20
drinks.
bucks.
Yeah,
Like
for
it,
four
they
drinks,
get
I was spending at
expensive.
least 10. Yeah.
Um,
But
th- Sorry, continue.
Oh no, I was going to say this has just definitely been good. I still don't sleep much, anyways, but that's for different reasons. Rogue has definitely had a good kick.
Yeah, I'm interested. Like I'm, I gotta get into it. Betty would like to know: have you ever been wrapped up in a game? And I assume she means just completely balls deep engrossed in it.
Oh yeah, there's been a few games that I have been, and I'm not trying to sound biased with my list of these, but like the top five are probably Halo, especially doing the lasso challenge. Um, Gears of War. When they came out with Gears of War 4, I went through all of the storylines back to back to back to back. Um, then let's see, what else have I been? Final Fantasy VII. When that came out on the PlayStation 1, I had the 3-disc version. I played it over and over. Uh, this one's going to sound kind of cheesy, but Guitar Hero. I used to play Guitar Hero like
Yeah, but Guitar Hero
crazy.
was so good when it came out. Like
Yeah.
nowadays the loading screens are just way too long.
Oh, yeah. Like, I still play Rock Band, and honestly, I would stream Rock Band. I'm really good at the guitar. I'm pretty good at the drums. The singing, not so good at, but I would honestly play on stream if it wasn't for DMCA stuff.
All right, so
Um,
now continue.
no, I was just gonna say, like, I've put so many hours and so much money into Rock Band. It's not even funny.
We're gonna get into my closing questions I had about streaming. So, if you could give yourself one piece of advice, go back to when you started streaming 6 months ago. You got one major piece of advice that you just wish you knew. What would it be?
It's gonna sound cheesy, but I would have found certain people a lot sooner than I actually did.
Okay. So you would
Like,
have found, like, I assume, like, people like Serena and Vaughn and them. Not me.
yeah.
You found me. You're fucking
Well,
Denzel
you
guy.
were
You're
there
like,
at the beginning.
gross, gross. Where did he
You,
even come from?
yeah.
Twitter?
I mean,
What's Twitter?
yeah. I don't even have a Twitter. So certain people uh, that I've met through Twitch, I feel like I've gotten to grow and know, and it's just been a great, like, overall a great experience. And some of those people I've met later on so far, a lot of them are in the chat. Uh, some of them I knew beforehand, some of them I met along the way, some of them have been more recent. But being able to meet everybody and know who these people were at a sooner date, I think I would have been a lot happier with my streaming at an earlier
And
date.
I love that advice. I just, it's like the perfect world scenario, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like in a perfect world, it would be the same exact way. You know what I mean? Like in a perfect world, when I started streaming, I would have found the CapnJesses of the world and the Bettys of the world, not some of the other people that aren't going to be mentioned because there were some bad experiences along the way.
right.
Have you had any negative experiences like that on Twitch or not really?
Yeah, a certain person, not people, a certain person I used to play with a lot. Um,
Oh,
they got pretty upset and jealous over things, and pretty much disconnected from me in general.
I think
And not just in the gaming and Twitch world, but in the personal world too. So I was just like, I'm not.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
like just keep it off the court or whatever you want to say. The advice
yeah,
for that, like, I know
yeah,
like multiplayer games sometimes can be hard for that because we all have our own networks and connections, and we all
right.
have our own hard work and luck that gets put into the stream. So, sometimes people can feel a little bit left out in those situations. Um, what are you working on to improve in your stream?
Um, I think for improving, I'm trying to see what people want me to play in general, like what they enjoy the most. Um, I do want to sort of shift up how I play games and how I stream and how I set up my schedule. Uh, just with things that are going on in life and just trying to make things work out. So I'm trying to figure out what people enjoy the most and just try to
Yeah.
put that together.
I've definitely asked that question before. I wish people would answer me. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want to see? Like, let me know. Like, what are you interested in? What's your favorite? I also
Yeah.
want to know what you don't want to see. Actually, almost
I,
more importantly, what don't you want to see? Because then
yeah.
I'll just, I'll know what to go through with. How do
Yeah, and
you
I know
deal with it?
there's gonna be people that always show up no matter what.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like you're gonna have that handful of people, and that's one thing I know that I can count on. Like certain people to always be like, "Hey, guess what? I'm here." Um, like I enjoy playing like a whole variety of games. So to me, it doesn't matter if I'm doing multiplayer, if I'm doing storylines, what I'm doing. Um, I'm enjoying the company, but I also want to let the company enjoy what I'm doing at the same time.
Yeah. For me, and this is how I just approach it from the beginning. Okay. My streams for me, the way I look at it is my streams are about you guys. Like, yes, it's about me. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna pick the games that I'm gonna play that I want to have fun and the things that I'm gonna do that I'm
Right.
gonna enjoy. Like this podcast has been super enjoyable. I hope people like it. But like my streams are about the people who are coming to share the experience with me
Yeah.
more so than they are about me.
Right.
Because if I wanted to play games on my own, like I'll just go play on my own. But if I'm
Right.
gonna be trying to share the experience with others, I want them to be a part of the experience.
Oh yeah, no, I completely get that. Like that's a very important thing too that a lot of people don't get. They just want to play what they feel is going to bring the most people in.
Yeah.
And when I've looked at it, I'm like, okay, like I could be playing this game that I'm pretty decent at, but I don't feel like it would be a very like good game for me to play to get people involved.
Yeah.
Um, which takes out a lot of the multiplayer gaming. Like there's only been two multiplayer games I've ever streamed, or I take it back, three multiplayer games I've ever streamed, and that was at the very beginning. I did Among Us. I've done Phasmophobia and I've done Dead by Daylight, and that's been it. Um, so to me, it's about having the people there, being able to play what I want to play, but also having people enjoy what I'm playing.
Yeah. I'll allow it this time a sneaky question at the end. How do you personally deal with the negative impacts of streaming? What do you do to like maybe get your mind off of it or
Um, I haven't found too many negative aspects. Like, of course, with certain like friends and stuff like that, just dipping out. That part, that's been kind of rough. I've enjoyed company while playing games. I think the worst part, the negative aspect, is the people that just come into your life and then go. But I definitely enjoy the fact that people are uh, just present in general.
yeah.
Like, if I'm streaming to an audience of two people, or if I'm streaming to an audience of like 20 people, I'm happy. Um, I haven't found too many other negative things about streaming other than losing a few people along the way.
Honestly, that's probably one of the biggest ones. I think we touched on it a bit earlier how like people who you enjoy will just all of a sudden, and sometimes it's like personal, sometimes it's whatever, but um what is coming up in your streams that I should be excited about? That we should be excited about, Jesse?
I was gifted Bendy and the Ink Machine, so we're going to be starting that up next week. And I've not played it. I've not seen very much footage other than just like images of it. I just know it's got some horror related to it, and I'm all for it. Um, I'm gonna try to start adding another day into streams to maybe do just a multiplayer day. I want to play more storyline games and be able to maybe expand a little bit on, I guess, just bringing people in and trapping them in a story.
All right, so this is going to have to be the final question of our question section before your unmasking, hopefully not unbearding. Like, I took my beard off earlier. Hopefully
Oh, I'm not
yours
taking
doesn't.
mine off.
Okay, good. I want you to take a minute or two to sell your stream to us. Sell your stream to me. Why should I go to a CapnJesse stream? Why?
Because I'm just here to have fun. I'm not here to pressure anybody into like following me, subscribing to me, throwing bits at me, whatever. Like, I'm just here. I just want to hang out with people. If anybody ever needs a place to come talk, if anybody ever needs a place to just come hang out or just wants company, if they're going through a bad time or something, just wants to talk, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to be myself and hopefully have you be yourself with me.
So everybody, here is the coup de grace of the stream. We will move on to the unveiling, the unmasking, not the unbearding though, of the lovely CapnJesse. Let me just give me 1 second. I don't know how to do this right. Okay, let me fix this. Boom. There we go. Perfection. And then I just move this over your face and boom. All right, CapnJesse. On your command, I shall remove the mask.
All right. I am CapnJesse. I steer the ship. We're here to have fun. We're here to relax. And we're here to chill, play games, enjoy the story. So come hang out and enjoy.
Alrighty, 1 second. Let me find. There we go. Well, all right. Thank you so much, Jesse.
No,
this
not
has
a
been
problem.
awesome. I'm super excited to have you here. I hope you enjoyed this half as much as I do. At least half
it's
as
been
much
fun.
as I do. For anybody who's listening to this on YouTube or whatever, like, subscribe, do the thing. I plan on doing these weekly. We have weekly guests. We have more guests coming up. But thank you so much again, Jesse. I really appreciate you being here, taking your time out, and I think it's been awesome just hanging out, chatting with you about streaming, gaming, your lives, COVID, all that. I mean, God, I feel like we talked about so much.
Oh yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for having me here. Thanks for everybody asking questions. We've definitely enjoyed it.
Right. Well, I will catch you later. I see the signing off. Okay, guys, here we go. The signing off, especially since like the stream goes on after this. That's where I'm bad at. Okay, so bye, Jesse. I'm kicking you off my stream. Wait, go
Sounds
this way.
good.
Go away. There we go. Good. All right, got rid of him. Pesky CapnJesse. Thank you so much again, though, Jesse.